So my second presentation is about students' characteristics and motives for enrollment in a community-based research service learning project, a qualitative investigation. And this piece of research is also part of the final results from the accompanying research study of a study project course that I've already introduced to you at the Institute of Geography at the Ruhr University Bochum, which focus on the topic social inequality, poverty, and homelessness or housing issue. And also the acknowledgement and supplementary information. I just want to express my gratitude also to Janine, so my student research assistant or my former student research assistant, who is unfortunately not able to take part in this conference today, and the members of the European Observatory of Service Learning, and also the members of UniActive, University of Duisburg-Essen, and the research group, the former research group of Professor Dr. Philipp Meiring, Professor Dr. Thomas Frenzel, Magister Stella Lemke, who gave some valuable advice and feedback during my first steps of the data analysis at the Lakewood in Austria. And I should also say that I received a teaching grant provided by the Ruhr University of Bochum, research-based learning program line for developing this course concept of this course. And I used also this funding to hire my student research assistant, who conducted all of these interviews with the students. So because of that, I was able really to have the resources to do this accompanying research. So was really happy about that. And yeah, I just would like to summarize the presentation of the content focus and the description of the teaching concept of the newly developed course, because I've already talked about that. I just want to point out again that the course combined elements of two teaching formats, research-based teaching and learning, and also service learning, and that the topic that we were working on with the geography students was the issue of social inequality, poverty, and homelessness in the Ruhr area, or especially in large cities. So we had two case study cities, Bochum and Essen. So we worked with a group of students that was very heterogeneous in terms of age, study progress, and origin, so background, so with or without migrant background. And these students worked in three project groups on research questions that they developed independently together with the project management or the project leader and our community partners, three social organizations in Bochum and Essen. The course lasted a total of 1 year. Around halfway through, the COVID-19 pandemic broke out, and unfortunately our university was completely closed for a longer time. And so that's why the concept of this study project or of this course therefore had to be changed to a purely online format. But that is in this case really not relevant for the research question that we were interested in this sub-study. I just would like to mention it. Our qualitative research study offers a first insight into the reasons for participation and characteristics of the students that participate in this special kind of study project that combines components of service learning and research-based learning. And we were interested to see why students decided to take part in this new offered course, because they had also the choice to take part in, I think, 6 or 7 other courses. And so that's why we were interested, why the students decided to take part in this course and what was the added value for them. Focusing on research-based teaching and learning, and also on service learning. Just also the characteristics of the course. I've already mentioned what is meant by research-based teaching and learning and service learning. The most important thing for service learning is that it combines academic learning with a service to the community. Normally you work with community partners, social organizations, and there is an added value for the students working in this project, also for the community partners and for society. I think that is really important. And in research-based teaching and learning, normally you work in research groups, and students should learn to develop their own research questions and take part in the whole research cycle, and use normally also research methods. And normally at the end you have a research report. So normally they are trained like research starters or research beginners. So that was what we tried to combine in this course. So our qualitative interview study aimed to investigate the motives of geography students at the Institute of Geography of the Ruhr University of Bochum to enroll in this community-based research service learning course. And in addition, we wanted to find out exactly who the participants were. So we were interested in participant characteristics, like what values they act on and what skills and abilities they bring to the table. So we were interested in these questions because our literature review shows us that there are several specific characteristics normally of students who are especially interested in service learning projects. And from this literature review, so we were focusing especially on literature from the United States. And because of the results of this literature review, we thought it could be really interesting also to see or to get more information about the characteristics, the skills, and the abilities and the values of our students in this study project course. So in my presentation, I will focus on 4 relevant research questions. What are the reasons for participating in this specific course that combined elements of research-based teaching and learning and service learning? What are the personality traits of the participants in the course? Which specific values do the participants of the course consider to be particularly significant or relevant for their own lives? And what personal skills and also competencies, knowledge do the participants of the course have? I just would shortly look at the most important findings of the literature review. So the results are as follows. So there are just a small number of empirical studies so far that deal specifically with the question of students' reasons for participating in service learning courses. There is really a lot of literature about the general impact of service learning, but that was not relevant for our study. So there is one study that shows that there exists a positive correlation between public service motivation and the intention to participate in a service learning course on the one hand, and the willingness to volunteer for society outside of the curriculum on the other hand. There's other empirical evidence that motivation to participate in a service learning course is more significant if there's already experience with service learning. There are other studies that use the volunteer motivation inventory as a test instrument to investigate the extent to which personality traits and value orientation, so that was also something that was relevant for our study, play a role in interest in service learning and forms of volunteering. And yeah, it's really relevant to look at these 2 points. It has been shown that the reasons for enrolling in a service learning course are diverse. Differences in students' gender and minority status exist, and personal values in particular play a role in interest in service learning activities and other extracurricular forms of doing voluntary work. And based on these results, we also recorded not only the motives for enrollment, but also the corresponding characteristics of the participants and their value orientations. However, that's the most important thing. Just to give you some helpful definitions. We understand personality as behaviors, styles of thoughts, speech, perceptions, and interpersonal interactions that are consistently characteristics of an individual, as defined by Ellis et al. 2009. Personality traits are then fundamental characteristics of personality that can be indirectly inferred and therefore also measured and allow predictions of behavior. In our study, we were just looking for a theoretical framework that could be helpful. And I'm not a psychologist, but there are 2 models in psychology that are really helpful to give a first understanding. And there's, for example, the hexagon model. And we decided to use this model for describing different dimensions of personality. So that's a decision to use it. I will show you show it on the results later on. Another definition that is useful is for values. We understand values at the individual level of interest for our study as internalized social representations or moral beliefs that people appear to as the ultimate rationale for their actions. Shortly to the data collection, as I already mentioned, we conducted guided online interviews at the end of the course or after the students finished the course. So we used also the Zoom conference system because it was during the COVID-19 pandemic. We had 13 students that give us the permission for interviewing them. The interview length usually was around 60 minutes, between 32 minutes and 79 minutes for all sub-studies. So we were focusing in our accompanying research on 4 relevant broader research themes. So we had 4 sub-studies. And especially for our interest on the motives of students for participation and personality characteristics, we asked the following narrative generating key questions. So can you please tell me what exactly motivated you to take part in the study project, Social Inequality, Poverty and Housing? So you see, it's really an open question. We intended that the students start, telling us all what is for them important to this question. The second one, put yourself in the situation where you are applying for an internship or a part-time job during your studies that you really want to get. Now you're sitting in an interview and are asked to openly and honestly describe up to 3 personality traits that make you stand out. So tell me about 3 personality traits that characterize you and possibly set you apart from others, and describe them to me in more detail. The third one, what are the 3 most important values in your life? Can you also please describe to me exactly what you understand them to be and what they mean to you? You can also use an example. And the last one, what would you say are 3 skills that set you apart? That is something that you might be particularly good at, something that you're proud of and might set you apart from others. Please describe these in more details. In addition, after the interview, we used an interview postscript. So it was used by the interviewer to describe the communication situation in more detail and record further observations during the interviewer-interviewee interaction. We audio recorded the interviews, and as you have already seen, the questions that we ask are very open. So we had these questions are narrative generating key questions. And after these questions, these 4 questions, we always also ask maintenance questions like, can you please tell me a bit more? Is there something else that is relevant for you, to generate more qualitative data material? And after that, we also ask specific follow-up questions on these, or to these narrative generating key questions. So that is really why also the data quality is very good. As I already mentioned, we use qualitative content analysis for data analysis, following the specific, strictly rule-based approach of Philip Meyering. So we decided to use this approach because qualitative and quantitative steps in the data analysis process can be later also combined if you're interested in that, like a mixed method approach. And for us also to have quotes and also on looking on numbers like code frequencies, for us it's like getting a more complete picture of the research subject. And it's for us, it's also always a first approach to work inductively, sometimes also in a mixture of inductive and deductive category formation with the text material. And then if you are interested to go more deeply in the qualitative data, you can also use other qualitative data analysis approaches. I just want to show you the content analytical units, or the definition of the content analytical units. That is something what is really necessary to define if you use this specific approach for content analysis. So it's a specific type of thematic analysis also of Professor Meyering. Then to the results. First, to the reasons for participation. I just want to show you the table with the frequencies of categories or of main themes and sub-themes for the question of reasons for participations or for course participation themes with single occurrence in the documents, so it refers to the documents, are not reported. So we had a total of 11 key themes that could be identified from the interview material with regard to the question about the motives for participating in the course. The most frequently occurring key themes are topic-related reasons, so that is quite interesting. So the students were interested in the topic of social inequality, poverty, and housing. Second, lecture-related reasons. So I was happy about that. So I really knew some of the students from other courses before, especially method-related courses. Then a third, study organization-related courses. That is something that you also should have in mind if students have the opportunity to choose between different courses. And number 4 is service learning-related reasons. Number 5 is research-based or community-based research-related reasons. And number 6 is prior knowledge-related reasons. And interesting is with regard to the teaching format of service learning used in the study project. So that was one component. The participants in the study stated, for example, that it was important for them to combine the course with social engagement, the opportunity to do something with and for society. So 23% or 3 out of 13 interviewees said that this is important for them. Also, that they wanted to make a difference. That's 50% or 2 out of 13 interviewees. And that it was important for them to be able to do something with practical relevance. Also 15%, 2 out of 13 interviewees. And I just want to show you some illustrative quotes to the topic-related reasons at the beginning. So one student mentioned, in any case, this topic somehow appealed to me directly because it's also a highly topical subject, a highly interesting subject. And another student said, yes, it was actually my wish from the beginning to choose this study project simply because of the subject matter. Yes, the 2 female students. And another one, yes, just the criteria that it should not be a physical geography, or it should not be physical geography. So participants are more interested in human geography topics or topics that are related to society, not to the natural sciences. Generally speaking, I was more interested in human geographical orientations right from the start of my studies. So we offered also study project with a focus on physical geography. So that is more like climatology or like that.
You have 2 minutes.
Oh,
2 minutes left.
that is not much. So just to the lecture-related reasons, I just want to show you these 2 quotes, and I will skip that. And I have already mentioned, that some of the students also said that service learning-related reasons are relevant for them. So, for example, and I found it interesting because I often feel sorry for people who are so badly off. And then I found it helpful to work with people so that I could perhaps change something. Shortly to the students' personality traits, because I think this is really interesting. So you see also this table with the main themes and the sub-themes. And in addition, the following frequently occurring characteristics can be emphasized. So our students were target focused, they were open, they were perfectionistic, they had the ability to work in teams, they were helpful, they were friendly, respectful, and for them, they were also reliable. So that are the most important characteristics. Shortly to the student values, we see that the most important are the relationship-related values, followed by the performance-related values. And yeah, I will skip going into more details. And last but not least, the student skills and competencies. So skills and competencies our participants had before the start of the course. So we see that it is important is knowledge of statistics or method-oriented knowledge, also knowledge in giving a presentation, writing skills, and what was also relevant, these are only the relevant ones, being able to hold your own leadership position. And that is something that is really important also in service learning teams, because service learning projects, because the students work in teams, they need some team working skills and also some leadership skills. Yeah, I hope that I was able to present the most relevant findings about the motives of geography students to take part in this special community-based research service learning course, and also to give you some insights in the students' characteristics. And I just want to say thank you for your participation in this presentation, and I'm looking forward to the discussion and to some questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janine. I really appreciate your presentation. What a wonderful topic. Do we have any questions for Janine?